Janine. So
Yeah.
just a disclaimer, we started recording just now. Thank you very much. And we'll start our meeting at 3:10, ma'am. It's all yours.
Yep. Okay. Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. Happy New Year. Happy 2021. Well, we survived 2020. Hopefully 2021 will be a little better and a little brighter for us all. Two quick things. As you can tell, most of us are here because we are representing our schools, either as presidents or designees. For anybody who is new, I'm Janine Fausner, President of President's Council. I'm also co-president of PSIS 104. The executive board is, my vice president is Tamara Stern. Treasurer is Vito Labella, and secretary is Diana Brogan. I'm not gonna, we have some special guests that I just want to introduce quickly. We have Dr. Joe O'Brien, our interim acting superintendent for District 20.
Hello, everyone.
There you go. We have Mr. Bill Chin, who is representing our school. What is your exact title, Mr. Chin?
I am lead leadership coordinator.
Thank you.
Really.
Thank you. And our other is Mr. Stephen Stowe, who has been the newly elected president of Community Educational Council 20. We finally have a president. There you go.
Hello, everyone.
Hello. Welcome. Welcome, everyone. All right, let's get the business portion out of the way, and then we'll introduce our guests to do their speaking. Vito, you're up.
I'm up. We're doing the treasurer's report first?
Or what do you want to do first? You want to let Dr. Joe talk first?
No, that's fine. I was going to have a little presentation. Did you want me to do that now?
Well, let's make sure. All right, well.
I think the doctor has to go. I think the doctor has to leave. So
and then let him speak. Then fine. Perfect. All right, Dr. Joe, go ahead.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
That, Vito. I'm meeting with the UFT at 3:30.
Oh, then yes, go ahead. Yes.
And I'm sure they'll be yelling at me. But I also want to share just a warm Happy New Year to everyone on the call right now, and a deep thank you to all of you that are on the line. Each of you have worked in your own way to ensure and maintain during this operating in this hurricane has been nothing short of impossible. Managing family and also providing time to dedicate to your school community should be you should win some sort of award, because I feel like this is the unsung job that nobody ever talks about, and it's so much work and it's so complex and there's so many issues at play, and we're learning new information every time the mayor comes on TV. So I want to thank you deeply as the interim acting superintendent. It's been just such an honor and privilege to see the work that you do each day, and to thank you for what you're doing. We here at the district have been incredibly busy over the last few weeks. As many of you know, 3 weeks ago, the mayor has pushed us to open up to 51% of the building as much as possible. As you know, we have 41 schools, and many different grades have been targeted, whether it may be our students in temporary housing, our students with disabilities, or our earliest learners from K1 and 2. We're trying to bring back as many students as possible in a safe, meaningful way. We know that in and of itself is almost an impossible task, but the principals and the teachers of District 20 have really gone above and beyond to support this mayoral initiative, and it has not been without its very stressful moments. My hair is turning gray, I think, as I'm looking at myself in this camera, and I'm horrified, but that's what I think this job does, and I want you to know just how much it means to me to have such a wonderful community as yours, as ours. Bringing the wind in our sails. Without you, we're nothing. And we want you to know how much we appreciate all the work that you're doing. As I said, this has been a challenging time. I know that there's been a lot of issues around consent and around the chancellor's edict that students, there was a deadline that if you didn't sign the consent forms that you'll be fully moved to remote. I want to tell everyone here that's listening, if you want your family coming back to a District 20 school and you want to sign those forms, we're going to let you back in. We're not going to stop anybody from doing that. I always thought that was something that really didn't sit right with me. Parents should be able to change their minds. And if you want to come back, and obviously we can't do anything about the consent forms at issue, unfortunately. But if you have those forms signed, we're gonna try to make every way possible to try to bring you back to the building. And all you have to do is to contact your principal, and they're gonna do the right thing. And if not, I want you to give me a call, and we're gonna sort it out ourselves. So no worries. But thank you all.
Thank you, Dr. Joe. Have a great day. Thank you for joining us, as always.
I'm going to stick around for a couple
That's
more
fine.
minutes, if
That's
I may, just to hang around. Thank
Okay.
you.
You're very welcome. Thank you. All right, moving right along. Mr. Stowe, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. Yes, thank you very much, Janine. This is really, really sort of well-regarded opportunity to speak to the President's Council. Just a brief background, and then I'm very excited to listen to what everyone has to share today. My family and I, we moved to the district relatively recently in 2019. We have a 6th grader at McKinley. We were attracted to the district for a number of reasons, one of which is its cultural diversity, one of which is the excellent school system. And so I'm really excited to be in this role, working as a council member on the CEC. And I hope to get to know the district a lot better. The term is up in June. And so what I'm trying to do, and what I'm trying to get other members of the council to share me in doing, is creating communication structures that could outlast the current council. And arguably the most important one is working with the President's Council and with the PTAs to just establish more normalcy around how we hear your concerns, and can we be a better conduit for your concerns to raise issues with the DOE, with the superintendent, with other parties in the educational sort of complex, because we really view our advocacy for parents as our core mission. At a minimum, we would really appreciate the chance to reestablish connection between what we refer to as the liaison relationship between your schools and a council member who's designated as a liaison for your schools. And we can, our hope is that at a minimum, we'll be able to get some kind of communication going there. In the future, we would definitely welcome opportunities to visit, to speak, to meet. That's really on a sort of a case-by-case basis. But that's the high level goal that I would love to see started before my term is up in June of this year. Just 2 quick notes, and then I'm going to stop. One is, one of our official roles, as you probably know, is submitting capital requests to the DOE, to the School Construction Authority. And to the extent that any of you are involved or with that process at your respective schools, keep in mind that the deadline is January 15th, so next week. And our primary channel is going to the principals for this, but if you have any role in that, please keep that in mind and make sure that your school gets those requests in, because we wouldn't want you to miss out on much needed capital improvement projects. And then my last comment really is that another priority is reaching everyone in the district. And I thought it was very interesting to look at the survey the CEC did last summer and note that something like 50% of the responses were from a handful of schools. And those schools were almost all in Bay Ridge and Dagger Heights, which is obviously a very important part of our district. But I'm very interested in seeing if this is just me personally speaking, if there's more we can do to reach some of the schools in neighborhoods besides Dagger Heights and Bay Ridge. And so that's just sort of an interesting sort of personal observation I have, and something that's in my mind. And so I look forward to hearing your thoughts the rest of the meeting. Thank you again, Janine.
Oh, thank you, Steve. Very, very nice. Mr. Chin, you have anything to say?
No, Joe, I was going to mimic what Joe said, and he was able to show today. So thanks a lot.
Okay, you're welcome. I just realized that we do have another invited guest that is with us today. That is Christian Marbury, and representing FACE. We welcome. How are you, Christian? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, everyone. Thank you for inviting me to the meeting.
You're very welcome. Is there anything you would like to share with us?
No updates on my end.
Okay. No news is good news, right, Christian?
Exactly.
Well, thank you for joining us. Going forward, then, we're going to go back to resume to our business. If everybody should have received the secretary's minutes for November, if everybody had taken a look over them, we just want to make sure that there's nothing, if there's anything that you think is missing or need added to, please speak so in the chat. Diana, are you there?
I'm here.
Okay, just checking. I don't think anybody has any, I think you did well, so I think we're okay.
Hi.
So then we're going to move on to,
Janine,
Rita,
may
are
we
you-
make a motion to waive minutes, waive reading?
I'm going to, would you give me a chance, man? My word. I don't know what I'm going to do next year when I have nothing to do. This is going to not be good. Yes, I would like to make a motion to waive the reading of the minutes, because everybody should have a copy of the minutes. We don't need to read it or go over there. If, as you're reading the minutes, there are any issues and whatnot you want to bring forth, please do so. Email us and let us know. Otherwise, in the chat, just a yay or a nay that will be great.
I second your motion, Janine, because I love you.
Thank you. Thank you, Vito. I appreciate it. All right, moving forward then. Vito, you're up.
Okay, great. So now they've asked me to,
Go ahead.
hold on, I gotta make sure so I'm gonna be incorporating a couple of the things that we do as treasurer with a
Okay.
presentation.
Perfect.
So let me just ask, am I on speaker view? Try to put me on speaker view if you have that option, so that I can share the screen with you and you could get my screen. So the first thing I'd like to talk about is the District 20 President's Council's proposed budget.
Right.
And so we had a budget last year,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to put it up first. Okay, so now this is the executive board met last couple of days ago, and we talked about what the budget for the 2020-2021 school year would be for the President's Council.
Right.
So now, if you take a look at this form is a budget. This is this form has been customized. I customized this form. It's provided by PTA Link, and I have a blank one to share. I should have sent it out. And you see what I did on the top is I added some, I added a cool little pictorial. I put our little letterhead up there with our Facebook page. And if you go down, what we see here is the anticipated income. So beginning July 1st, we had 29-10-19, and we decided as a executive board that we weren't going to ask for any dues this year. The year is half over. We're not going to ask for the $40 that we usually ask for. So now membership dues, anticipated amount is $0.
Right.
We do get we have received $1.23 in interest in the last 6 months from July to December, and we expect to get about the same amount for next year. So this anticipated income is a big $2.46.
Hold on.
Now, I'm scrolling down, please, if you need me to stop or scroll slower, please. I know it's sometimes frustrating because people like to do things at their own pace, and then the person reading is scrolling. And
right. I'm sorry. God, Vito. I'm checking the chat, and someone has asked if they do nothing, do they still have to fill out the form? I'm assuming they're asking if they do no fundraising.
yes,
Is that what I'm understanding?
yes.
Okay.
The answer is yes.
So they.
I mean, it's very easy,
Yes.
right? We're not doing anything. We're doing nothing. And so we have this form. I'll be sending it to Dr. O'Brien today after the meeting. But we do have anticipated expenses. Now, if you look at that, this is all of the stuff that we would have spent money on in previous years, right? So we had meetings, hospitality,
Right.
parent engagement, office supplies,
Right.
and the expected amount for this year is $0 across the board because we're not going to meet, right? We're not going to have bagels and cream cheese. We're not going to have coffee. We're not going to have anything. We had planned to do some kind of parent engagement at different schools. that's not going to happen this
Okay.
year. Any reasonable person would say that that's not going to happen. And the same thing, office supplies, we're not going to put in for everything. I think everyone's just going to pretty much do what they have to do and eat the expense.
Mhm.
So this was what a budget will look like. Okay, this is our proposed budget. And now, if you've been on more than one PTA, a lot of times the budgets look all different, right? And what this does, and what this does is this standardizes the budget across schools as well as across all different forms. Okay, now let me see if that'll transfer. Hold on. Okay, so for example, now this is the interim report that is due by January 31st. So you saw how our budget was formatted, and this has got a very similar looking format, right? This shows the income, it shows what the interest we had, the beginning balance, the interest. It shows that we didn't spend any money. And then you show as of December 31st, what our totals are. And for just good measure, I always post the Ridgewood Savings bank statement along with the interim report.
Vito,
Vito.
Yes,
Yeah,
ma'am?
Vito, hold up.
sorry to interrupt. It's still on the PTA proposed budget form.
It's still a blank form.
Okay, so
Go ahead.
hold on. I might have to go to new share.
Yes, I think so.
I apologize, guys.
That's all right. Everybody's just like, wait a minute. Everybody thought they were losing it for a moment there, Vito, but that's okay.
Is that showing now, interim PC financial report?
Now we see it. Now it's, yes, go ahead. Now it's better. Go ahead.
Thank you. Please interrupt me anytime if something like that happens, because we're all learning new skills as we go.
They were being very polite, Vito. They were being, talking in the chat.
It's a rough crowd, right?
It is a rough crowd, man.
I hear you.
We get paid in, aggravation and insults, but that's okay.
That's all right.
Go ahead, let's move on. Where else? Go ahead, where are we at?
So here's the interim PC financial report. And what I don't like about this screen sharing is I can't just toggle back and forth between
No,
tabs like I would like to, right?
right.
So this thing should look very similar to your budget.
Right.
And just some of the captions on the bottom are different, right? But if you use the budget that I showed you as your school budget,
Right.
and when you use this, it should be very easy to transfer all the information over from the budget to the interim report and eventually to the final annual report.
Right.
And so what I was saying is, here is our final statement, and this is my official presentation to you that we're presenting to you. So we have whatever it is. I can't even see it now. It's so small, but I believe we sent this out. Hold on. I'm wondering if I can. Did that get bigger for everybody?
Yes, you did well, Vito.
Oh,
Good.
thank you very much. Yeah, so we have the 291142 on the bottom, and it corresponds to the 201142 up on
On
top.
the top. Right, exactly.
Okay, so this
Okay.
is the interim budget that we all have to fill out. And so yes, if you didn't do any membership donations between July 1st and December 31st, then yes, so membership donations would be zero, or
Right.
whatever bank interest, or maybe you did anything else would be in that first page, and you would total it up. And any kind of expenses that you might have had, maybe you had COVID expenses, maybe you had whatever it is you might have had, right? People have had expenses, some computer software expenses, that would be on the second page. And basically it's deduct expenses from you total up the income and the previous balance, you minus the expenses, and I'll give you the fund balance. And that's what you have to submit to the principal by the end of this month, I believe.
Okay.
Okay, so now I'm going to,
I'm sorry, Vito, I have one person waiting. Diana, did you see that?
can somebody, my screen is gone, so I can't let them in. Can somebody let them in for me? Any of the co-hosts can let them in.
All right, so I can let him in? Okay,
Yes.
fine. Well, here we go. Let's hope. Let's hope I'm not letting in, I'm kidding.
Okay, so I'm going to go to a new share.
Go ahead.
And I'm going to look at the monthly PI financial report. Does everybody
Okay.
see that? The monthly financial report.
Hold on. You scroll down too fast.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yes, yes. Now you're at where, yes, okay.
So
You
now,
are-
okay, so I sent this out to everybody, the 4 files for everybody.
Right.
This is a Microsoft Word document right now that I'm sharing.
Right.
My personal one, the one that we have for President's Council, I customized it, okay? If you have someone that can do it and you want to put your logo here instead of the New York City Department of Education, if you want to make this your personal letterhead for your school, hey, knock yourself out. Sometimes it messes up the formatting a little bit, but if you have someone that knows what they're doing, they could do it easily, okay? It's just a matter of fiddling around with the headings and some of the tabbing, okay? But what I was trying to say is this looks very familiar, right? This looks like the budget, which looks like the financial report. And
Right.
when we go to the final annual report, it will look very similar as well. So if you use these forms across all the different financial requirements, it makes things kind of easy, right? And we all have at the end, it's kind of standard and it's very professional looking because we have the date the report was distributed to the PTA members, the date it was distributed to the principal, everybody signs it and dates it, and it's really very, very professional looking, and it's really the way, a gold standard, I say, of what we should be presenting to the schools and the members. Does anybody, and then just for the heck of it, I'm going to share one other thing. This would be the annual financial report. I made it. Look at that.
There you
So
go.
again, this would just be, this makes it very, very easy come June to
Right.
fill this out in a very, very, straightforward manner. Taking the information from your monthly reports, going to your interim, the other monthly reports, and then totaling it all up for your annual report in June. Okay, I know I spoke fast. I have a tendency, my brain thinks faster than my mouth, so it comes out there, right? So does anybody have any questions?
Can you just go over when these are due by and to whom and what date?
Okay, so the beautiful part about some of these forms that I sent you is the actual due dates are on the form. So if I scrolled up, annual PTA financial report must be filed with the principal by June 30th.
Right.
Okay, the interim financial report must be filed to the principal by January 31st, right? 31 days in January, January 31st. The treasury reports should be filed with the principal at the end of that month. And the budget should be filed. So now we do have some housekeeping stuff because we actually have to vote on that proposed budget, the proposed budget where we don't spend any money, right? So
Right.
you might have to do in your own PTAs. So you would propose a budget and you would ask the members to vote on it. And then you would change hold on. And then you would change I have to share my screen again. I apologize. New share. PA proposed budget in Word. So this is a blank budget. A lot of times I have proposed on it. I think I did that with our budget. Hold on. Do you see that now on my screen?
Yep, I see it.
So I have proposed there, right?
Yes.
So that's what you would present to the members, a proposed budget. Now this ideally should be redone in May or June of next year, of this year now.
This
So
year.
come May and June, the current board should be doing a proposed budget, presenting it to the members to approve the proposed budget, and then you'll approve it again in the fall, right? You might approve it again in the September or the October meeting.
Right.
right?
Yes.
All right, does anybody have any questions? Did I forget anything? Did I misstate anything?
Vito,
Yes, ma'am?
when I forwarded out the PDFs of these forms that you sent me, some people weren't able to open them. So I don't know if that was something I did on my end, but I think you had sent them out again. Was everyone able to open the version that Vito emailed out?
So I sent out Word documents so people could edit them and play around with them and do what they want with them.
That's probably
So
why.
everybody able to open those?
The Word documents.
Right.
And you could email us, email me, respond to the email that I sent out or forward that email. And if you need me to send them again, or if you have any individual questions, you know, it's really not a problem.
Nice. Yes.
It looks like some were, some weren't. The question is it from September of this semester to January of now? That's what somebody's asking.
Okay, so the school year is July 1st to June 30th.
Okay.
Okay, so now we actually have expenses. Crystal McAuliffe has expenses in July and August because we pay for water for the people that are still in the school. We do have the schools open. We have office workers in there. We have the principals in there. The AP is in there. So we pay for water. So we would have expenses on July and August that we would show on our. We show it. We don't do a treasurer's report because we don't have meetings, but we would show those expenses on the September treasurer's report.
Okay.
So the year is broken up. I'm sorry, I hope I answered the question. The year is broken up July 1st to December 31st, and then January 1st to June 30th.
I think it was the interim reports they were talking about. I think that's where they were getting.
July 1st to December
Right.
31st.
Okay. All right, another question. What if we didn't complete our end of year numbers for last year?
So you're not the only one, right? I mean, we didn't have ours done for the President's Council
Right.
until like a week ago.
Right, exactly.
You have to do it, right? So you
Yeah.
have to try to figure it out, and you have to go back in time. And what I would do is I would take your bank statements and
Uh-huh.
find the bank statements from July, or from the whole year basically,
Right.
and go through them so that you can figure out from your bank statements what the beginning balance was, what your income that you received, and what expenses you had. Now, I understand if, say, your treasurer disappeared, right? Say
Yeah.
your whole executive board disappeared.
Right.
You know, you may not have a 100% accurate tally up, but if the
Right.
bank, if you can justify everything on the bank statement, that would be that might be as well as we can do, right? I mean, does everybody agree
Right.
with that? I mean, you can't make magic, right? If you don't have the information, you don't have the information.
Okay. The other question was, the annual proposed budget needs to be voted by members, but the monthly financials is just reported at the meeting. Yes or no?
The monthly, see, the budget, what the budget is, a lot of ways, is a pre-approved
Right.
amount of money. So we pre-approved to spend $1,000 on hospitality.
Right.
As you can spend your money on hospitality or on whatever you choose to do, and as long as that number month to month doesn't
Right.
go above $1,000, you don't have to pre-approve that item. But now,
Right.
say you wanted to add a new item that wasn't a category. For example, contactless thermometers. We spent money on a contactless thermometer. So we have to request approval for a different item, a COVID-19 expenses, and then a subcategory, contactless thermometers. And that specific change, since there's no caption for it, would have to be approved by the members.
Okay.
That makes sense?
Yes, to me it does. I'm just making sure everybody is,
Yep.
all right,
Excuse me while I take a drink.
that's fine. If there's presidents out there or designees who are unsure, don't hold back. Let us know what you need us to assist you with. That's what we're here for.
Yes.
So, anybody else? Yeah. If you don't want to talk about it now during the meeting, send us an email, send us a text. we'll answer you as fast as possible. Any other questions for as far as treasury goes?
Christian, do you have did you hear what I said? Do you have anything you'd like to add from a face point of view?
I think you did a really, really good job, Vito. It was very detailed. And I may ask you to send me some of those templates too. So
There you go. Look at that.
So let me give a plug to PTA Link. I believe it's .org. You can
Yes.
do a search for PTA Link.
Yeah.
And that is such a
Right.
phenomenal resource. I would love to be able to say that I figured all those forms out. I just stole them and made them special for my school and the President's Council, but I used the templates that they had.
You added your little sprinkle of Vito that made it perfect. So
Aw.
thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Is there anybody else out there who has questions? Presidents, now's the time. We're opening it to questions and comments now. Our business end is done at the moment. Now, the other question that was brought up, just quickly, if anybody can jump in, please do so. I know everybody's uncertain about fundraising. I know personally from my school, we've done online fundraising. I know other schools have done online fundraising. If anybody wants to share some of their what worked and didn't work, it would be fantastic. My school 104 used Miss Chocolate. Didn't do bad, not bad. We're going to do a virtual Scholastic Fair coming up, book fair, to give us a little more cushioning. But a lot of these are not gonna, let's prepare ourselves. These are not the usual fundraisers we're used to. So we're not
Jamie,
going
I
to,
have a quick question.
Go ahead. Who's talking?
It's Jamie.
Yeah, hey Jamie, hello.
Hi.
What's up, darling?
So we did the Scholastic last year because the schools shut down like
Okay.
the day before, the weekend before we were supposed
Of
to do a book
course.
fair.
Go ahead.
But yeah, everything was in our room
Yeah.
ready to go.
Yes.
But we moved it to virtual a couple of weeks later. But with virtual, we didn't get any money.
You
They
won't.
just gave us Scholastic.
You'll
That's
get,
that's how it goes.
yes. What that happens is it's called Scholastic Bucks.
Yeah, I know. I just didn't know if they had switched over and they were
Not
actually.
changed that at all.
And why is that? Did you know I haven't spoken to them?
Okay, well, I spoke to my representative the other day, and she says, well, that's because I guess they're afraid of money coming in and out. I guess it's an accounting nightmare for them. So what she did suggest was, let's say your school or my school does the Scholastic Bucks, but we know the school in the next district needs help. We can write a letter to Scholastic
Mhm.
asking them to give our bucks to them. So it kind of works that way.
Okay.
And then they can get, because bucks, for the most part, most of us don't need libraries. Our classrooms are pretty much full with books.
We
But
used our Scholastic Bucks to give to the teachers who had needed some books. So that's
Correct.
what we used it for.
Right.
Okay, I didn't know about. I didn't know
Yes.
that about.
So
the
that's
school.
that's something new that they started because others have asked. So yes, that's a new, yes.
That's very cool, actually.
Yes. Anybody else? Oh, come on. We're not all crickets out there. Come on, people. Lucia, what do you have to say? Anything? Lucia left already.
No, I'm here. I'm here. You knew to pick on me. That's why I'm laughing.
Listen, I pick on you because I love you. You know that.
Yes, yes.
Yes. Another one was, which two schools I know that used and were successful was Farm Meadows. I believe, Tamara, you used it for 259, correct?
Hold on.
And
Yes, we
and
did.
127 used it as well. How was your take on that as a fundraiser?
It was actually a very easy fundraiser. You just have to make sure
Mhm.
that you get the information out to all the parents about registering
Okay.
and letting them know that you get 40% of the profits.
Okay.
So, and everything was virtual. The prizes that the kids actually that my daughter received were really great prizes.
Okay.
They weren't like, things that you would get like Oriental Trading, where you'd be like, oh, I could get that at 99-cent store. Like they were really
They were
like
good.
good
Okay.
quality,
All right.
good quality prizes, and like they were very helpful.
Okay.
So I would recommend them
All
to
right.
you guys.
And that's Farm Meadows, right?
Meadow Farms.
Meadow Farms. Could you just put that in the chat for everybody? Thank you.
So now when we try to do these fundraisers, right?
Yes,
Do
yes,
we need to
yes.
speak to them like at the PTA meeting and get it approved? Like say, tell the parents, hey, we want to do this. Did everybody approve this? Like, how does that work?
Well, it depends on how you want to, I mean, your usual fundraisers are stuff that you do within the school, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's not going to happen, right? Are you
Yeah.
okay? So
Mhm.
you're looking for an alternative. Most parents are gonna, you bring up, say, even if you bring up 3 of them and say, we want to take a vote, you can do it that way. You can even ask parents if they know of any that would be of interest, that would be, that you'd want to help out. As far as voting, I mean, you're looking to raise funds, so I don't think you're going to have an issue with that, but I could be incorrect. Let me see. Who can I ask? Tamara, put it in there. Okay. These are easy. Like in the past, I've done 104 did Yankee Candle. All of these are very easy. They come right to your. They can come right to your house. They get delivered. So it depends on how much you want to do as a fundraiser,
Yeah, I
or
understand.
if you want to do any fundraising at all. I mean, I don't know what that's the other thing. If your budget at the moment is pretty standard and you can hold off till next year, that's another choice as well. Hopefully by next year things will be different where we can do our plant sales, our holiday sales,
Yes, we're hoping.
that's what we're all hoping.
Yes, definitely.
In terms of
Yeah.
voting though, for
Yeah.
a fundraiser that you don't
Yeah.
have to lay out a bunch of money, you don't have to vote on that with
No.
membership. Your
Thank
executive board can just decide what fundraiser you want to do. It's if you're doing some kind of fundraiser where you have to lay out a bunch of money first, then it has to be in your budget. So like we did sweats and different apparel. So we had a line in our budget for what we knew we would have to lay out prior to taking in the sales. But if it's something where you're just raising money with no upfront cost, you don't have to have membership vote on that.
Thank you, Diana, for clarifying that. Thank you.
Hey, hey, Janine, it's
Yes.
Paulette.
Hey, Paula, what's up?
I just wanted to just add, because I know that there's a lot of brand new PTAs in the meeting
What's up?
today,
Yeah.
that we got to reiterate that we can't just fundraise for the sake of fundraising. Fundraising has to be linked to a specific goal. Like if you're fundraising, for books, it's got, we're doing Scholastic because we want books for the library. It's like we're doing this because of this. And it can't just be fundraising for the sake of fundraising. We're fundraising for gym equipment. We are fundraising for a literacy program. Like it can't just be fundraising linked to nothing, because there's fundraising reports that have to go along with the treasury reports.
Right.
So
Right.
I
Okay.
just wanted to make sure that that was out there for our new.
Yes. Right. Okay. I appreciate that.
So I believe though that
Go ahead.
fundraising can be anything
Yeah,
that's pre-approved on that budget.
Right.
So you
On the budget.
pre-approve a budget and you could fundraise for any item on that budget.
Yes. The
That's
budget-
true,
okay,
but you
yes.
still need to submit a fundraising report after your fundraiser is done.
Right, but I think from this point on, that's the amount of fundraising reports are going to be next to not many but yes, you're right. It should be attached with your receipts and yes, I agree.
That's more for bake sales and for,
that's
for the
different, yeah.
individual stuff that we might do over the course of a year or
Right.
when things are normal.
Normal. Anybody else have any other questions, comments, concerns, assistance? Speak now. Nobody? Everybody's okay? Wow, look at that.
I actually have a question.
Sure, go ahead. You are. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
My name is Sana Obi from PS 748. I'm the
Oh.
treasurer there.
Okay, all right.
The question is about that fundraising report that was just mentioned.
Right.
So if you have the funds, therefore you don't have a fundraiser? Is that the way it works?
No, it depends on it goes back to your proposed budget.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, sorry. I just got confused there.
For example, in my proposed budget, I have X amount of dollars for air conditioners for the school. So this year, due to the schools not being, so that money, nothing's being touched out of that money. But then on the next item line, it's for, we added an item line of iPads for next year, because figuring if this is what's going to be their future, You know, we don't know what the, you know, how these iPads that everybody has gotten is going to come back in what condition. So we're deciding on, we want X amount of dollars. So our next fundraiser is going to be for that particular item. Is there anybody who has any other questions or comments about what was discussed or something they need assistance for the future?
I did.
Yes, speak, my darling.
So
Oh,
we-
thank you. I love a mom who's a multitasker. Go ahead, darling. What's
Sorry,
up?
just got out of work. I'm running home.
That's all right.
Um,
And
Since
yeah,
we're a new school and we don't have a budget or any income, I know you said that you have to do a fundraiser for a specific, like for books
what
or
school? Are you 939 or 936?
yes, 939.
939. Oh, okay. Okay, go ahead.
So, do we have to say we use this money for, like, we're doing a fundraiser for books and then have to use a percentage for books, or
Let's see, if you're
like-
gonna do books on your proposed, it says $5,000 are gonna be towards books.
okay?
Okay, you understand what I'm saying?
So we just need to have a goal for the specific title, and then we could just raise the money and still,
Right.
even if we don't use it all for that specific thing, we can just
Right.
say we have it there at least.
Right. If anybody,
In the
if I misspoke, please someone correct me. Vito, am I correct? If I'm incorrect, please let me know. Where did Vito just go?
I'm sorry, I'm here. Ask the question again.
She's 939, brand new
Yep.
PTA, no money whatsoever.
Mhm.
Starting
The
from
first
scratch.
step is, do you have a budget?
Yeah.
The first step is the proposed budget.
Right.
Okay.
And she wants to know how to go, right.
Yep. So, do you have ideas of how you want to spend your money?
On what? Right. There you go. What
Well,
is
that was going to be discussed in the next
Maria.
PTA, so we
Okay.
can do a fundraiser.
What does Miss Nastasi want? What does she want? Is that Nastasi?
Hi.
Morales? No, wrong one. There's the other one.
Georgia?
Georgia. There
Georgia.
she is. Hi.
I'm joining. Hi, it's Joanna. How are
Hi,
you?
Joanna. How are you?
Good. We talked about doing something at the end of the year. I'm sorry for the background noise because I have my son here, but
That's
we
okay.
we were discussing about doing possibly something at the end of the year for the kids, like a little end of the year part. I don't want to say party, but just something.
Okay.
We
And
weren't
your
really sure yet.
Okay. And you have nothing in your budget either, right?
We just opened up the bank account like 2 days ago.
That's okay.
We,
That's
listen.
somewhere.
we
Listen.
haven't done anything except get an
What?
EIN number and a bank account. So
That's
we're
fine.
getting somewhere.
Maria, do you have an EIN number?
We have
do.
one.
Who's answering? Both of them are answering. Hold on.
Yeah, they're both from the same school.
Oh,
We're in the
okay.
same school, that's why.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
why.
we're both
Okay.
in the same school. Sorry.
Oh, that's okay. That's fine. That's fine. If you have your Vito, EIN number, go ahead.
That's it. So EIN number, bank account, that's step one.
Right.
Proposed budget is step two.
Right.
Decide if you want to collect dues and not dues, I apologize, see?
Donations,
Vito's.
donations.
Donations, because it's voluntary. We ask for donations.
Everybody is a part of the PTA.
Yes.
If we
Everybody
decide
that's
to
a
put-
parent,
a
everybody that's a
parent,
parent is part of the PTA.
Parent, co-parent, whoever the caretaker is.
Guardian, that kind
Guardian.
of thing. Yeah.
Yes.
In Chancellor's regs, who qualifies as a PTA member in addition to teachers? If that's what you want to be, a PTA instead of a PA.
I think we have to somehow we have to make get a handbook to them or something.
Well, I was
think-
actually thinking about it this morning that there's no like information sheet.
There
I
is.
mean, the
There is.
chancellor's regulations only give so much information. But like, I didn't know how to fill out the EIN form online. I didn't know now I have to file for New York State tax exempt.
Yeah.
It's just like a
So-
little.
Ma'am,
Right.
now, don't you have one for your school and the one for
They're
the
a new school. They're a new.
I understand that, but
Yeah.
so we have one for the school,
And
right?
one for the PTA.
And one for the
I want the
PTA.
PTA.
Yeah.
I didn't know I have to file one for the PTA
Yeah.
until
me
this
too.
morning.
So it's two separate things and they have to be kept
Yeah.
separate. I would even suggest, guys, use separate banks. So there's
Yeah.
no chance of commingling.
Correct. Right.
Does that make sense?
What, a separate bank from the PTA and the school?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, well, we did. We opened up a separate bank account
Okay.
from the
And
school.
that's okay.
Yeah.
So you opened up with what? What money did you open up with?
I put in $100 and then I donated
Of your own money?
$100.
Oh,
I
you- look at
donated it to the
you.
PTA. Now we got to figure. Now she's got to figure out that she's got to write me a receipt now that I donated $100 because we had to pay for the checkbook. So I used that. I mean,
Joanna?
Joanna,
Yeah.
go ahead. Go to Vito.
Tell me.
Don't you have a school fund that you're responsible for, like kind of like your fund that you had to open up a
No
separate thing
idea.
for?
I have no idea. We're like trying to figure it out on the fly. I didn't even know about that.
Bill, you there?
What school fund are you talking about? I'm getting confused.
Principals have
They have a
principals can
discretionary
fundraise.
fund. They do.
Principals can have a little fundraiser. They're allowed to do fundraising as well, and they have to put that money somewhere.
Right.
They
Yeah, but the
probably haven't
school-
had fundraising yet.
She's not a principal. She's the PTA president.
Right.
No, Joanna's a principal, aren't you?
No,
No.
she's a
No,
PTA
I'm the
president.
PTA
So
president.
what principal was here? Did we see a
That-
principal?
There was nobody here.
No.
I thought it
Okay.
was Georgia. I was wrong.
You said Joanna, so I just chimed in.
I thought that's fine.
I thought the principal of the school
no.
was here. I'm
No,
sorry.
she's not here.
I'm sorry.
She's a
Thank you.
PTA president.
Maria's the
Thank you,
treasurer
Tamara.
and I'm the president. I'm sorry.
Okay, that's fine.
And just to interject, a principal cannot give funds to a PTA. Like there's separate entities. Just like, like if the PTA wanted to donate funds to the school for their discretionary fund, like in their discretionary budget, they can do that. But the school can't donate money to a PTA.
Just like having.
Yeah, okay. I mean, yeah. But
That's why I'm wondering why you're talking about a school, like why would the school give Joanna money to start her bank account? I'm kind of confused.
well,
about
an
that direction.
individual principal has and could certainly take money out of their own pocket and give it to the PTA. And I thought that's what we were talking about.
It's okay. I did it as a donation to the PTA. It's total.
Okay.
It's fine.
Yeah, we all
It's
do.
okay.
Thank you.
All right.
I think Vito thought he was talking to the principal.
Yes.
Exactly. Thank you, Diana. Thank you for clarifying. Yes, that was the issue.
So it
Um,
seems like the step you guys need to take right now is to sit down with your executive board at least at first and just think about a couple of things that you think you want to try to do this year, even
Right.
if they're very small, 2 or 3 things like you were saying, I don't know, like a family fun day for the kids, or, if you wanted to do some kind of apparel, and think about how much you would need to make that happen and how much you're hoping to raise off of it. If you think it could be profitable, put that in a budget and then present that at your next meeting to be voted on. And then you start fundraising towards those things that you identified. If that
Okay.
helps break it down a little bit. Because it sounds like you took the steps in terms of the bank account and the EIN, so that's all set. And good job on you guys for figuring that out, because it is very hard to know what you're doing when you first start. So now the next
Right.
small step is just try to come up with, maybe this year's budget will only have 2 or 3 lines because it's such a crazy year. And, set your goals low. And if you exceed them, that's great.
Right.
But that's the next step, to just identify 2 or 3 goals that you have, what you expect the cost and income of that will be, and then vote on it, and then you can get rolling.
Okay.
I would suggest for you guys to maybe look into maybe the Meadow Farms one.
I did. I called actually
Yeah,
yesterday. I spoke to him.
All
We were
right.
going to do
Because
the
it's-
Mother's Day
Perfect,
fundraiser.
because it's
Yeah.
like you don't have to lay out any money. Everything is virtual, so it'll mostly be profit for you guys.
Exactly.
So you won't be spending anything. So
Right.
that would be like, especially since you guys just have the kindergarten, and there's so many things available in that fundraiser, from like candy to cookies to a whole bunch of things, jewelry and everything like that. So you could target like everything. And like I said, the prices are awesome. So
Okay.
maybe try looking for some of those fundraisers, because you guys are new, where you don't have to put out a significant amount of money, things like that. So just an idea.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Tamara. Anybody other questions, comments? If not, we're gonna wrap this up. Moving forward, I mean, we love to see everybody. We love many people. For the next meeting, you all have to decide who's going to be representing at this meeting, because it's getting a little confusing in who's. If you are president and you're coming, then your email should be in the email that we send out for the invite. If you are president and you cannot make it, then you need to have a designee, and then that designee will be from this moment, from next month on till June. So everybody has to make that decision of who's representing their schools. Because if you are not a president or a designee or an invited guest, then you're not going to receive the invite to our next meeting. So does everybody understand that? Any questions on that? Comments on that?
Can we talk about a possibility of
What?
having presidents in the Zoom and then streaming on YouTube for everybody else? It's supposed to be an open meeting. I'm a big fan of an open meeting. I love open meeting. That's the open meeting law. That's my thing.
That's fine, as long as we know that those who are voting, when it comes time to voting, it's one vote per school. They have to make the decision who their voting person is.
Yeah, so only the voting members will be allowed in, and our guests that we invite.
Correct. Right, exactly.
So I'll work on making sure the streaming is working.
If there are no other questions or comments.
I actually have a question for
Go ahead.
Christian. Is she still here?
Good question. Is she still here? She may have left.
Christian?
I do not see her.
God dang it. All right. I had a question. Okay. I had a question for her. Actually, I had a couple questions for her. Did the interim acting superintendent left? He left also?
Joe had to be with the UFC.
See, Bill is here. Bill Chin.
Bill is here.
I'm still here. Do you want me to give you, well, if you can ask me the question, I don't know if I have the answer, but do you want?
I just wanted to ask, especially with all the vaccination stuff that's going on, does the district think that they're gonna make vaccinations like mandatory for like the faculty, anything like that?
If it was up,
I don't think it's up to the district.
It's up to the UFC.
Okay, that's why I wanted to ask him before he left for his meeting. I didn't realize he left so fast since he was going to meet with them.
If you, Tamara, I will send you information. You can get a hold of Ellen Dreesen. She's the UFC rep.
Tamara, are you concerned about just the staff or the kids or both?
What are you concerned of?
I think I'm actually interested because my husband is a teacher and I would like to find out, but I also know there's parents that are interested in finding out if this is something that they would going forward with because of pandemic, if the state is thinking of doing that, making it mandatory for the kids, because they have to have mandatory vaccines just in order to get into school. And that's one of the things that they might be adding to the list.
As of right now, if I can interrupt, children are not approved for the vaccine yet.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just thinking.
I don't know until October. They said they won't know.
That's what I wanted. I wanted to find out if there's something that they were like thinking like ahead of. You know what I mean? Going forward, like we don't know because there are kids that are getting it now.
Right.
So I was just wondering.
Can I share something?
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
So I'm up here in Massachusetts. My mom and I are waiting for the vaccine up here, trying to get her. She's 91. And so in Massachusetts, they required all school kids to get the flu vaccine before they can come into school this year.
Okay.
So there is some question, just like Tamara said, about whether they will keep that going and will also include the COVID-19 vaccine. There was some talk about requiring teachers to do it. And I believe they were not able to do it in Massachusetts, and I don't believe they're going to require anybody to do it, police officers, firefighters, anybody to do it in New York State either. I really have a question, because I'm also on the CEC, so I really have a question about how parents feel about requiring vaccines like the flu vaccine and COVID for their child in order to get in. And I don't know the answer. I mean, I know I want to vaccinate my kids, but I'd like to hear what other parents think.
Good
If it's
question.
a bigger topic than here, just put it in the back of your head. Maybe presidents can
fine.
ask their members and then share at a later date.
Right. I mean, on a personal note, I mean, yes, I think it's I don't know if vaccine is the answer to, I don't know if it's going to ever, the health department is ever going to make that mandatory. As a wife of a police officer who it's not mandatory at the moment for him to take the vaccine. It's a little scary. But the flip side to it is if at some point we're all going back into a building, I think it's on the air of caution that majority of us have some sort of vaccine behind us, so to speak. As far as the UFT and making it mandatory, every school has a UFT chapter rep, if that's who they want to speak to. But no one's made it mandatory. No one's given it the fine line, the you must sign on the dotted line kind of deal to take a vaccine that I'm aware of. No.
Not even the military. I have friends
Not
in the
even
military.
military.
They're not making the military either.
Right. Any other questions, comments about COVID or what's going on, the pandemic? Anything on your own schools? The majority of you, I don't know. I'm upset at the fact that my school's only open K-5, but that's beside the point. What else?
Want to do a quick update on admissions, what we know so far?
Please do so. Go right ahead.
Bill, you want to take it? You did such a
Yeah,
great job
okay.
today.
Yeah. Okay. Yesterday we had a parent coordinated meeting with placement office,
Would you like to hear? You could ask.
and for the middle school, there will be no screen programs. So there is no superintendent program next year.
Would you like to make me a ham sandwich? Caitlin, can you make him a ham sandwich?
In place of that, students based on a strict lottery. No academics, no attendance, no anything. It's a strict lottery. That was what was presented. And the citywide school, like Mark Twain, it's 100% lottery also. There's nothing about the elementary school gifted and talent program yet. We haven't heard anything. So once we hear anything, we'll let you know.
So I believe that, correct me if I'm wrong, Bill. So the present middle school superintendent programs like Diker, McKinley, and others, those will be considered district-wide
programs as a choice for District 20 students.
Yes.
If they get in, those seats will be held for those students who are not zoned for their school. Supposedly, once the schools get all these students, they could program to what the students' needs are. So 187 next year will be 100% lottery.
Yes.
And you don't know what range of students, academic wise or special ed wise, or whatever, what their needs are until they get accepted by the lottery, no, get picked by the lottery and they accept that placement. That's the main news I heard yesterday.
We were told that there was going to be priority for the original zone, not just district-wide, but like say McKinley, if you had been originally zoned, you would still get preference over what was non-zone kids for the school. Is that not true?
You will still have, McKinley will still have their zone. So you will have your priority for that zone. There's no such thing as a superintendent program. But once the McKinley, and I'm sure a lot of our bigger middle schools like McKinley have their honors or regents program, and that's internal programming. They can internally program their students based on their needs.
Okay, thank you.
I have a question. What if you have a student that's already in the superintendent program?
They stay. What are you talking about, in the upper grades?
Yes, middle school, yes.
Yeah, this is only going to be for incoming sixth graders.
Okay, okay, thank you.
And those incoming sixth grader has the right to remain in that school until they graduate. So this grade will proceed to seventh grade next year and eighth grade the following year.
Right.
But those who are in the school already in the superintendent program, they're still intact.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
Bill?
Yeah.
So if a fifth grader is in a G&T in 229, would they automatically be allowed to stay in 229 for sixth grade?
they should put down 229
Right.
as the first choice
Right.
on your middle school application. You gotta have to put your zone school in there, or
As your
else you may
first
not
choice.
even get it. And if you wanted to get it afterwards and there's no seat available, that's the problem. So put your first choice in there. The school will know when they program based on the needs of the students that this kid was in our G&T class in 5th grade. And still, so they may program in correctly to a higher class. I don't want to use the word higher. I just want to use the words for their needs. And a higher performance students has different needs than other students. So hopefully the school will program them correctly.
Thank you, Bill.
Now, do you know if they gonna do like the sibling variance, like they
In the past, 6th graders don't have sibling variance priority.
Okay.
I don't know. That's a good question, Tamara.
Yeah.
I will ask the placement director, because I'm putting together all these questions to forward to her, because we need clarification. You're talking about a K-8 school with a priority like that?
Well, no, I'm talking about, like, say for instance, you have like a 7th grader, right?
Okay.
But you have an incoming 6th grader.
Okay.
And say the school that they want to have their child attend might not be a zone school, but because their
Right.
sibling is in the
Then
school.
you apply for the district-wide seat, which is a lottery. But you're asking, would they get a priority based
If
on
they have a,
sibling
yeah,
variance?
they have a sibling in there, yes.
In the past, it wasn't, but maybe this year they could change that. I will ask the placement director.
Okay,
Good
thank
question,
you.
Tamara. Any other questions? If anybody, I'm going to put my email address in the chat. If anybody has any questions, I'm putting together all these questions to the placement director, and I want them to present it, or at least we put out the information to all of our schools so they will know exactly what the situation is this year, okay? I'm going to put my email address in the chat. Oh, the chat's disabled. So my email address, WCHIN, the number 1 at schools.nyc.gov. WC, okay, I can type it in now.
Yeah, put it in the chat, yes. Okay. All right.
Okay.
All right.
I sent it to you privately, Vito, so it's got private, so you got to forward it and set it in there.
Go ahead, Tamara, what's up?
Can I just say something to, like, because I know a lot of the PTA presidents here and other board members are new. Just so you guys should know, because it's something that we brought up at our executive board meeting. For all your PTAs, for your financials, your parent coordinator should not be doing anything.
Right.
And your financials at all. The PTA has to do their financials. If you have a parent coordinator that is telling you that they have to be in charge of your finances as a PTA, they are incorrect. Okay, and if that is an issue, please email the President's Councils, and we will help you figure out how to go about separating that. Okay.
Thank you, Tamara. Thank you for yes, thank you. That was very good. Anybody else? Any other questions, comments?
I just have a question for
Hey, Diana, what's up?
Is Steven Stowe still here?
I believe so. He just sent something to, he still sent something to me. Go ahead.
So the deadline for the capital funding request, the January 15th deadline, is that to get our request to the CEC? Or what is that deadline, and how do we go about making the request that you were speaking about? Because I know there are like 3 different avenues.
Yep, there's really 2. The January 15th is for us to send the list of requests to the SCA. There's also Resolution A funding. This is a program that is run through the Borough President's Office. There's another Resolution A program run through your city councilor's office.
Right. And those have different dates. I know the borough president, February 13th or something like that.
February 25th.
February 25th. Okay.
Yeah, because I don't remember, Diana, I don't remember getting anything from Brennan just yet. Did you?
No.
No. Okay.
Okay, so our principals or us in conjunction with our principals should email what we want from SCA to the CEC by the 15th, just to be
Yes.
clear.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am. And
Thank you.
just to, here's another chance to plug on the 13th at the CEC's monthly meeting, the
Right.
SCA will actually be presenting.
Okay.
our-
Okay.
They'll be presenting there, describing the process, answering questions. And what I've asked our administrative assistant to do is set up speaking time directly after the SCA's presentation for attendees if they want to ask specific questions, as opposed to having all the public speaking time at the end of the meeting.
Oh,
So
good idea. Thank
a
you.
chance to ask any questions you might have about projects, reasons you've been rejected in the past, what prioritization might be this year. And we understand it's sort of a tight turnaround window between the 13th and the 15th, but that's why we've already been soliciting requests from schools. We probably have 10 or 15 so far, and hoping to get more. We'd love to hear from everyone on that.
Okay. Thank you, Steve.
Yep.
All right. Anything else? Oh, the other question was this. This is just brought about. You guys do have to. You have to think about it and see how you want to respond. CEC has asked or requested. They would like the PTA president's emails. We discussed this at our executive board, and unless I don't know if you feel obligated to give your personal or your DOE email, it's your preference. That's up to you guys. What?
Can't you sign up for the email list? I think you just get it that way.
For which email list?
The CEC, because I'm on the email list, and I don't know if they can't just do like a sign up on
I
their.
think they want personal. I don't know. Stephen, do you want to speak about what is it you're looking for?
Sure. Yeah. No. There are regulations that I've just been learning about regarding how we're allowed to communicate with PTAs in particular, based on the fact that neither one of us are DOE employees. If one party was a DOE employee, it's a lot simpler. But because we are both parent organizations, the CEC is not allowed to contact PTA presidents without their consent, basically. And that's fine with us, but that's just one of the sort of communication channels that over time has not worked as effectively as it could be. And so that's why we would like to just try and, whoever's willing to sort of regularly engage with CEC, their CEC representative via email, and then obviously take it from there. That's really our goal. So anyone who wants to share, we'd really welcome that. And like Janine said, think about it. Come back to her. If you'd like to post an email in the chat right now, that's fine too. So thank you.
Steve, I posted my and your CEC emails in the chat. If anyone wants to be on the CEC email list, you could email us and we'll take care of that.
Exactly.
Can I ask Stephen a quick question? Since SCA is coming to the CEC meeting next week, will parents have an opportunity to ask SCA what's the status of projects that were already approved last year or the year before? Only because there's, I know that there's a ton of our schools that are waiting for construction projects to start, or they're mid-construction, and like they want to know, like, is it going to be completed at all this year? So will we have an opportunity to do that?
You bet. Yeah, Paulette, one of the things that we've done for this meeting is move a block of public Q&A directly following the SCA's presentation, unlike the normal meetings where all the Q&A is at the end. And so the SCA presentation is going to be about 30 minutes or so, followed by council members Q&A. And then we've reserved a block of 10 minutes, and hopefully that's enough. Maybe we should extend it for elected representatives, PTA representatives, principals, members of the public to ask Q&A.
All right, any other questions, comments? If not, then just two quick announcements. Our next meeting will be Friday, February 12th at 3 o'clock. The CEC meeting will take place Wednesday, January 13th, I believe, is it 6:30? Correct me if I'm wrong. And if there's anything else that we need to go over, now is time. If not, thank you all for joining us. If you have any questions or comments, please email us and let us know what's going on. I need a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion.
I need a second.
Second.
Excellent. Thank you all. Have a wonderful weekend. See you all soon.